The little boy stood beside the white marble stairs with both hands behind his back. He was only 3 years old. His name was Noah. He did not cry. He did not run. He only stared at the tall woman in the silver gown, as if he could not understand why her voice had become so sharp. Vanessa Hart. The woman set to marry billionaire Daniel Pierce in 30 days, held the side of her dress like it was bleeding. "Look at this," she shouted. "Look what your maid's child did to me." Maria, the housemaid, rushed forward so fast, her black shoes slipped on the polished floor. "Noah," she whispered, falling to her knees. "What happened?" "I didn't pull it, Mama," Noah said. His lower lip shook. "The tag scratched my finger." Vanessa turned on him. "Don't you dare lie." Daniel Pierce had been standing near the dining room doors, speaking to 2 board members from his company. He was 42, calm in meetings, calm in storms, calm when newspapers attacked him. But that small sentence from the child made his face change. "The tag scratched my finger." Daniel stepped closer. The music from the string quartet still played in the corner, but nobody was listening anymore. 12 guests stared at the torn seam near Vanessa's waist. A thin white clothing tag hung out from the ripped fabric. Vanessa quickly pressed the cloth over it. Daniel saw that movement. "Move your hand," he said. Vanessa blinked. "Daniel, this child destroyed a $38,000 dress. Are you really going to question me?" I said. "Move your hand." The room went quiet in a different way now. It was not just surprise. It was fear. Vanessa slowly moved her fingers. Daniel looked down at the tag. His jaw tightened. His hand closed around the back of a chair. Because the tag did not say what Vanessa had been telling everyone all night. It was not from the famous Paris designer she had named. It was not custom-made. It was not even new. The tag was torn, but one line was still clear. "Property of Rosevale Charity Wardrobe." Daniel's face went white. Maria saw the words and covered her mouth. Vanessa whispered, "That tag means nothing." But Daniel did not look at Vanessa. He looked at the child. Then he looked at Maria. No one at the table understood why that one tag frightened him so deeply. And in that moment, one damaged dress began to uncover a secret that had been hiding inside his own house for 6 months. Maria Alvarez had worked in Daniel Pierce's mansion for almost 8 months. She arrived at 5:30 every morning before the cooks, before the drivers, before security changed shifts. She cleaned quietly. She spoke softly. She never used the front entrance. She was 28 years old. And she wore the same plain navy dress every workday. She kept a small sewing kit in her apron pocket. She fixed loose buttons for other staff. She stitched torn curtains. She once repaired Daniel's jacket sleeve, 5 minutes before a charity speech, and he had thanked her without really looking at her face. Noah came with her only on Saturdays, when the daycare near their apartment closed early. He carried a stuffed rabbit with one missing ear. He called it Button. "Button is brave," he told the kitchen staff. "Braver than all of us," Maria would answer, touching the toy's torn ear. "Remember this rabbit. It matters later." Noah never caused trouble. He stacked plastic cups. He whispered to the cook's cat. He watched the big house like it was a museum. Daniel's house had 32 rooms. 6 staircases, and 1 dining room built for people who liked being seen. His father had started Pierce Hotels, with 1 building near the airport. Daniel had turned it into a chain worth $4.8 billion. People called him powerful. Daniel had learned not to trust noise. He had buried his wife, Elena, 5 years earlier after a car accident on Route 19. Since then he had filled his days with work, charity events, and silence. Vanessa Hart entered his life during a hospital fundraiser. She was beautiful, polished, and sharp enough to impress every board member in the room. She told Daniel she understood grief. She told him people used him for money. She told him his staff needed firm control. At first, Daniel thought she was protective. What would you have thought if someone acted loyal when you were tired of being alone? Vanessa moved into the mansion 3 months before the wedding. Small things changed after that. The staff stopped laughing in the kitchen. Flowers were replaced before they opened. Maria was asked to stay out of sight when guests arrived. Noah noticed it too. One afternoon, he asked, "Mama, why does the shiny lady not like us?" Maria touched his hair. Some people forget that kindness is free. But Noah did not forget. He watched, he listened, and on the night of the engagement dinner, he walked upstairs, holding Button by the ear, not knowing one small tag would change everything. Vanessa treated the engagement dinner like a coronation. She approved every plate, every candle, every flower stem. She rejected 3 cakes because the icing was too humble. She made the head chef redo the soup because the color did not match the table linen. At 4 in the afternoon, she stood in front of the grand mirror and smiled at herself. "Tonight," she said to her assistant. "They see the future, Mrs. Pierce." Her dress was silver with tiny stones sewn along the neckline. It shone under the chandelier. She told everyone it was a custom Solène Varro, design from Paris. $38,000. She said twice before dinner even began. Daniel insisted. "I wear something special." Daniel had not insisted. He had never seen the dress before that evening. Maria saw the gown when she carried fresh towels past the guest suite. She stopped for only a second, because she noticed a loose thread near the waist. Her fingers moved by habit toward her sewing kit. Vanessa caught her in the mirror. "Don't touch it," Vanessa said. "I only saw a small tear, Mom." Vanessa turned. "This is not one of your market dresses." Maria lowered her eyes. Of course, Noah stood behind his mother, holding Button to his chest. Vanessa stared at him. "Why is he here?" "Daycare closed early," Maria said. "He'll stay in the kitchen." "He had better stay invisible." The word hit Maria like a slap, but she did not answer. Noah did. "I'm not invisible," he said in a small voice. Vanessa stepped closer. "What did you say?" Maria pulled him back. "He's sorry." But Noah looked at the glittering dress and frowned. "Your dress has a pokey paper." Vanessa's face hardened. "Get him out." In the kitchen, Maria knelt before Noah. "Baby, you cannot talk to Miss Vanessa like that. She was mean," Noah whispered. "I know. Why?" Maria could not explain people like Vanessa to a 3-year-old. How do you tell a child that some adults feel big only when they make others feel small? Before Maria could answer, the butler called her to the dining room. One of the guests had spilled. Maria gave Noah the stuffed rabbit. "Stay here. Do not go upstairs." Noah nodded. But children follow sounds. They follow light. They follow the voice of a mother when they think she needs help. 20 minutes later, he heard Vanessa say, "Where is that maid?" She did not know. The child had already noticed the first lie under the glittering cloth. And he walked toward the stairs. The engagement dinner had 30 guests, but the mansion felt smaller than ever. Hotel investors, lawyers, 2 senators, Vanessa's aunt, who smiled without showing her teeth. Daniel sat at the head of the table, quiet and watchful. Maria moved around the room with a silver pitcher of water. She kept her eyes down. Vanessa liked that. "Careful," Vanessa said when Maria filled her glass. "That dress costs more than you make in a year." A few people laughed. Maria's hand trembled, but she did not spill a drop. Noah had been told to stay in the kitchen. For a while he did. He sat on a stool, swinging his legs, feeding tiny bits of bread to Button as if the rabbit could eat. Then he heard his mother's name. "Maria." Vanessa snapped from the dining room. "Are you deaf?" Noah slid off the stool. He carried Button in one hand and walked through the side hall. He saw his mother bending to pick up a fallen napkin near Vanessa's chair. He saw Vanessa lean back with one foot in Maria's path. Maria almost tripped. Noah moved before thinking. Mama, he said. Maria turned fast. Noah, go back. Vanessa looked down at him with cold eyes. Why is this child in my dining room? He'll leave, Maria said. Noah stepped toward his mother. His shoulder brushed the side of Vanessa's dress. It was a tiny touch, nothing more. But the loose tag inside the seam caught on the metal hook of Button's missing ear. The fabric pulled. A small ripping sound cut through the room. Vanessa froze. Then she looked down and screamed. You ruined her dress. One guest gasped. Vanessa grabbed Noah by the wrist. Look what you did, she yelled. Noah's eyes widened. It was Button, don't blame a toy. Maria dropped to her knees. Please let go of him. Your child is wild, Vanessa shouted. You bring him into this house and let him destroy my property. He didn't mean it. Meaning does not matter when damage is done. Daniel stood up. The chair legs scraped against the floor. The sound made everyone turn. No one grabs a child in my house, he said. Vanessa released Noah at once, but her anger did not fade. Daniel, look at me. Look at the dress. I told you this would happen. Staff get comfortable. Their children get comfortable. Then they forget their place. Noah rubbed his wrist. Maria saw the red mark and her face broke. Have you ever watched someone small get blamed because someone powerful needed a target? Daniel walked around the table. Vanessa lifted the torn side of the dress toward him. This is ruined. I want her fired tonight. Daniel did not answer. His eyes had moved past the rip. They had stopped on the tag. At first, Daniel thought he had read the tag wrong. The letters were small. The edge was ripped. The light from the chandelier caught the silver stones and made the fabric glare. But the words stayed there. Propriety of Rosevale. Charity wardrobe. He knew Rosevale. Everyone in the city knew it. It was a charity center for women leaving shelters, hospitals, and crisis homes. Daniel had donated money to it every December through the Pierce Foundation. They collected clothes, repaired them, and gave them to women who needed interviews, court hearings, or funerals. His late wife Elena had loved that place. She had volunteered there on Tuesdays. Daniel's throat tightened. Where did you get this dress? He asked. Vanessa laughed once, but it came out wrong. What kind of question is that? A simple one. I told you. Paris. Daniel pointed to the tag. Rosevale is not in Paris. The room shifted. Someone whispered. Vanessa's aunt stopped smiling. Vanessa covered the tag again. Designers donate samples sometimes. It is common. Daniel kept his voice low. Move your hand. Why are you embarrassing me? Because you were willing to embarrass a maid and frighten her child over this dress. So now I want the truth. Maria pulled Noah closer. She did not understand why Daniel looked as if he had seen a ghost. Noah pressed Button against his chin. The little rabbit's metal hook still held one silver thread from the gown. Daniel saw it. May I see the toy? He asked. Noah hesitated. Then he held Button out. Daniel took the rabbit. The missing ear had been repaired with a small brass hook. It was not pretty, but it was strong. Around the hook was the silver thread and a piece of white fabric from the tag. Noah, Daniel said. Did you pull the dress? Noah shook his head hard. Button got stuck. I tried to help. Did Miss Vanessa grab you? Noah looked at his mother first. Children learn fear from the faces of the adults, Maria whispered. Tell the truth. Noah nodded. She squeezed. Daniel looked at the red mark on the boy's wrist. His fingers tightened around the rabbit. The truth does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it hangs from a torn seam. Vanessa stepped back. This is ridiculous. You are choosing a servant's child over your future wife? Daniel's eyes lifted. No, he said. I am choosing facts over performance. That was when Maria whispered something that made the room go silent again. I know that tag. Daniel turned to Maria. What did you say? Maria's face had gone pale. She kept one hand on Noah's shoulder. I said I know that tag. Vanessa snapped. Do not involve yourself. Maria flinched, but Daniel raised one hand. Let her speak. Maria swallowed. Rosevale's uses blue thread on the left side of their tags. The thread shows if an item was repaired in their sewing room. Daniel looked again. The tag had a thin blue line on one corner. How do you know that? He asked. Maria's eyes filled, but no tears fell. Because I used to repair clothes there. A murmur moved through the dining room. Vanessa folded her arms. Wonderful. So the maid worked at a donation closet. What does that prove? Maria looked down. That dress came through my hands. Vanessa's face changed for less than 1 second. Daniel saw it, Maria continued. It was brought in 6 months ago with a torn zipper and missing stones. It was not a designer gown. It was from a closed boutique downtown. I remember because a woman needed it for a custody hearing. She never picked it up. Vanessa laughed again. This is a story. No, Maria said softer now. I stitched the waist. I replaced the lining. I wrote the intake number on the inside tag. Neil crouched and looked at the tag. There were faded numbers near the hem. R2147. Maria closed her eyes. That is my handwriting. Can you imagine standing in a room full of rich people and seeing your own work used as a weapon against your child? Daniel straightened slowly. Vanessa, did you take this dress from Rosevale? Vanessa's mouth opened then closed. Her aunt said, Vanessa, answer him. Vanessa pointed at Maria. She is trying to ruin me. You were doing that alone, Daniel said. Vanessa's voice rose. Fine, I borrowed it. I planned to return it. There was no harm. No harm, Maria said. Vanessa spun toward her. Do not speak to me. Maria's voice shook. That charity gives clothes to women who have nothing. And now you are the saint of the laundry room. Daniel stepped between them. Enough. Vanessa's eyes shone with anger. You have no idea what pressure I am under. Everyone expects me to look perfect. Everyone watches what I wear. Your world is cruel, Daniel. I only did what I had to do. Daniel looked at the guests, then back at her. You stole a charity dress, lied about its price, blamed a toddler when it tore, and asked to fire his mother. Vanessa's lips trembled. I panicked. Noah tugged Maria's sleeve. Mama, did the shiny lady steal? Maria did not answer. Daniel did. Yes, he said quietly. She did. Even the guests who disliked servants understood the line she had just crossed tonight. The dinner ended without dessert. Daniel asked the guests to leave. Some left quickly. Some lingered in the hall, hungry for more shame. Security guided them out with polite hands and firm faces. Vanessa stayed in the dining room, still wearing the stolen dress. Maria stood near the sideboard with Noah in her arms. She expected to be fired. Daniel walked to her. I am sorry, he said. Maria blinked. Sir, I should have noticed sooner. Vanessa made a sharp sound. You are apologizing to her. Daniel did not look back. Yes. Maria shook her head. Mr. Pierce, please. I do not want trouble. I only need this job. That is why people get away with cruelty, Daniel said. Because the ones hurt most are afraid to speak. Maria held Noah tighter. Daniel lowered his voice. Tell me about Rosevale. Maria looked at the floor. After Noah was born, I had nowhere to go for a while. My husband had left before he was born. Rent was late. I slept in the storage room of a laundromat for 9 nights. Noah knew parts of this story only as shadows. Rosevale helped me, Maria said. They gave me clothes for interviews. Then they gave me part-time work in the sewing room. I repaired dresses, coats, uniforms. Later, your old housekeeper hired me here. Daniel's face tightened. My foundation funds Rosevale. I know, Maria said. That is why I wanted to do good work here, Vanessa whispered. Oh, perfect. Now this is a charity speech. Maria finally looked at her. No. It is my life. The room went still. Maria touched Button's damaged ear. This rabbit came from Rosevale too. A little girl had left it in a donation box. Its ear was torn. Noah loved it anyway. I fixed it with the only hook I had. Daniel looked at the toy. Noah held Button out to him. He gets hurt but he stays brave. Daniel's eyes softened. Was this just about a dress, or was it about every person? Vanessa thought she could step on without consequence. Daniel turned to Vanessa. Go upstairs and change. Vanessa straightened. You are not ordering me like staff. I am telling you to remove property that does not belong to you. Daniel, you will regret humiliating me. I regret trusting you. That sentence landed harder than a shout. Vanessa's face folded for a moment. Under the pride there was panic. You don't understand, my father lost everything. The house, the accounts, all of it. People knew, they would laugh. They would call me a fraud. Daniel stayed silent. She stepped closer. I had to look like I belonged beside you. Daniel answered. You did not fail because you were poor. You failed because you were cruel. Maria looked away. She almost felt sorry for Vanessa, almost alone. But then Noah rubbed his wrist again. Some wounds explain behavior. They do not excuse it. Daniel picked up the torn tag from where it had fallen to the floor. He folded it once and placed it on the table. This tag will not disappear, he said. The next morning, Vanessa tried to take back the story before it spread. She called Daniel at 6:12. He did not answer. She sent 9 messages, he did not reply. At 7:00, she came downstairs wearing a plain black dress and a face ready for war. Maria was in the kitchen, packing Noah's small lunchbox. She had not slept. Every sound in the mansion felt like a warning. Vanessa walked in without greeting anyone. You, she said. Maria froze. Noah hid behind his mother's skirt. Vanessa smiled at him. It was not kind. I hope you are proud. You trained your son well. Maria's face hardened. Do not speak to him. Oh, now you have a voice. The cook turned away, but she did not leave. Tomb's aide stood near the pantry door. Vanessa lowered her voice. Listen carefully. I will tell Daniel this was a misunderstanding. You will agree. You will say your child was careless. I was upset and the tag confused everyone. No, Maria said. Vanessa's blinked. Maria's hands shook, but she kept them on the lunchbox. I said no. This time, people heard her clearly too. You can lose this job by lunch. Maybe. You can lose the apartment Daniel's staff program helped you get. Maria's breathing changed. That hit deep. Vanessa saw it and smiled. There she is, now we understand each other. Noah stepped out. Don't make Mama scared. Vanessa looked down. Little boys should be quiet. He told the truth, Maria said. Vanessa snapped. He tore my life apart. Daniel's voice came from the doorway. No, you did. Everyone turned. He had heard enough. Vanessa's face drained. Daniel. He walked in slowly. I came to ask Maria if she wanted the day off. Instead, I heard you threaten her housing. I was upset. You are always upset when accountability finds you. Vanessa pointed at Maria. She wants your sympathy. People like her know how to look helpless. Daniel's eyes narrowed. People like her? Vanessa realized too late what she had said. Daniel turned to the staff. Everyone in this kitchen is protected. No one loses wages, housing, or hours because they told the truth. Maria covered her mouth. Vanessa laughed bitterly. So now you are a hero. No, Daniel said. I am late. That sentence stayed in the room. The cook wiped her eyes with a towel. Noah looked at Daniel like he was trying to decide whether rich men could be. Daniel knelt before him. Noah, I am sorry she grabbed you. Noah held Button close. Will Mama have to go? No. Will the shiny lady yell again? Daniel looked up at Vanessa. Not in this house, he said. By noon, Daniel called Rosevale. He called himself. Helen arrived at the mansion with a folder. Vanessa refused to come down at first. Daniel waited 10 minutes, then sent security to escort her to the sitting room. Maria sat on one side with Noah asleep against her lap. Button was tucked under his arm. Helen opened the folder. The dress was reported missing from our storage room 2 weeks ago. We did not contact police yet, because we hoped it had been misplaced. Vanessa crossed her legs. And now you have your villain. Helen looked at her calmly. We have a missing item and a woman wearing it. Daniel placed the torn tag on the table. Maria identified her repair work. Helen looked at Maria. R22147? Maria nodded. Helen's face softened. I remember you. You fixed more garments than anyone in that room. Maria's eyes filled again. Vanessa looked at Daniel. So what now? You destroy me? You let them drag my name. Daniel leaned forward. You still think this is only about your name. It is always about a name in your world. No, Daniel said. It is about a child's wrist. It is about a woman's job. It is about a charity you stole from. It is about the lie you built, then defended by hurting people with less power. Vanessa's face twisted. You think Maria is innocent? Ask her why she never told you she had a connection to your charity. Ask her why she hid behind your foundation. Maria looked stunned. I hid nothing. Daniel raised a hand. Stop. Vanessa's voice became sharp. She is using you. Noah woke at the sound. He rubbed his eyes. Mama? Maria kissed his forehead. I'm here. Daniel watched the boy wake afraid, and his decision became final. He looked exhausted. He stood. The wedding is cancelled. Vanessa's mouth fell open. Daniel, don't do this. It is done. My father will be ruined. Your father did not grab a child. You will be alone again, Vanessa whispered. For the first time, Daniel flinched. Maria saw it. So did Vanessa. Vanessa stepped closer. That is what scares you. Not scandal. Not money. The empty rooms, the quiet table. I gave you life again. Daniel looked at the long windows behind her. Then he looked at Noah, clutching a broken rabbit like a shield. No, Daniel said. You gave this house noise. That is not the same as life. Vanessa started crying then. Real tears. Maybe, but nobody moved toward her. Helen closed the folder. We will accept payment for the damaged dress and a formal apology. Daniel nodded. You will have both, Vanessa whispered. From me? Daniel answered. From both of us. You stole it. I allowed someone like you to stand in my house unchecked. 3 weeks later, the dress was not hidden in a closet. It was proudly displayed at Rosevale behind clear glass. A small card sat beside it. This gown was once used to shame a child and a working mother. Now it helps fund new clothing for women starting over. Daniel paid for the full repair of the Rosevale storage room. He doubled the foundation grant. He also created a staff protection policy for every Pierce property. No employee could be threatened through housing, childcare, or wages by a guest partner or family member. Maria did not become rich overnight. She kept working, but not as an invisible woman. Daniel promoted her to household operations assistant. Her salary. Her hours became fair. Noah received a place in the company daycare. Vanessa left the mansion 2 days after the cancelled wedding. Her public apology was short, but it was real enough to begin with. I lied because I was ashamed. I blamed a child because I was afraid. None of that was acceptable. Some people forgave her. Some did not. That was not Maria's work to carry. One Friday afternoon, Daniel visited Rosevale with Maria and Noah. Helen gave Noah a box. Inside was Button the rabbit, with a new soft ear sewn in place. Noah hugged it. He is still brave. Daniel smiled. So are you? Noah looked up. Are you brave? Daniel thought about the empty mansion, the cancelled wedding, the years he had spent mistaking silence for peace. I am learning, he said. Maria stood beside him, holding the old torn tag. She had asked Helen if she could keep it. Not because it hurt her. Because it reminded her that truth can begin with something small. A tag, a thread. A child's voice. So here is the question. What would you have done if you saw a rich woman blame a toddler for a lie she created? Would you stay silent, or would you speak? Never judge someone by their uniform. Never measure a mother by her paycheck. Never call a child weak because he tells the truth with shaking hands. If this story touched you, comment the part that hit you hardest. Like this video, Subscribe for more emotional stories, and remember this: the people who look powerless are often the ones carrying the strongest truth.